beautiful weather lining up for the tail end of the week on Friday. Our forecast details, it'll be partly cloudy. There is a slight chance of a shower tonight. Lows range from 73 to 77 degrees. Northerly winds at 10 to 15. Sunshine, partly sunny at times tomorrow. There's still a chance of a shower, but just a low 30% chance of shower activity. Middle 80s tomorrow afternoon. Wednesday night, a few scattered clouds, middle 70s. It'll be partly to mostly sunny on Thursday. Temperatures top off in the middle 80s. Rip current risk will be highest at east and north-facing beaches during the day Wednesday. With your WTJX local weather forecast, this is Precision Weather Meteorologist Russ Murley.
We are at the end of today's WTJX newsfeed. I'm Marcelina Ventura Douglas. Join me every weekday at 5 p.m. And if you haven't already, be sure to download the WTJX app. If you missed a part of our news, you can listen to it on demand wherever you get your podcasts. Up next is Commissioner's Corner, hosted by the Department of Education's Commissioner Dionne Wells-Hedrington.
The views and opinions expressed are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect that of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters.
Welcome to the Commissioner's Corner, sponsored by the Department of Education. I am your host, Commissioner Dr. Dionne Wells-Hedrington. And through this platform, our goal is to engage with the community and keep you updated on what is happening within the Department of Education in an effort to be transparent. And so we are live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. here on 93.1 FM and WTJX and VIDE's Facebook and YouTube pages. And so today we are continuing part 2, having our discussion with a very special lady, Roseann Mondy, who's the director of the Internal Audit Division. Ms. Mondy, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Thank you for being here. Before we jump in to our discussion this afternoon, I want to express a couple of things to the community. And so on our last show, we mentioned that we had a moment of silence for the student that we lost in the St. Thomas St. John district, 9-year-old. And this Wednesday, tomorrow at 5:30, we are having a candlelight vigil at Emancipation Garden in honor of Jacada Isaac. So if you're in the St. Thomas St. John district and you are available, join us at Emancipation Garden as we remember that precious soul and we pay tribute to her. And support the family as well as her natural family, as well as the entire VIDE family as we mourn her loss. Also, exciting news for the Department of Education. Miss Mondy, I spent my entire Saturday from 6:30 a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. for the Battle of the Agencies. Ooh. And it's been a long journey for VIDE. We have not been in the competition since 2019. So it was comeback education.
Awesome.
And I think that we caught a lot of the agencies off guard. They didn't expect education to come out in full force. We had a strong team of volunteers across the district, and we were able to capture 4 trophies. We were the winners of the water balloon toss. We were the winners of the water relay and the three-legged race, and we came in second place in the overall competition. So go education warriors.
Yes.
And so we did second place in St. Thomas St. John district. So I'm expecting first place
in
the St. Croix district.
Bring it home.
We're bringing it. And so that competition is on April 20th. And I am truly excited, and I love the way that we all came out. Even those who are not participating in the event came out and supported the other VIDE employees. So it was a wonderful day. I'm still a little bit toasted. The sun did not play out there with us, but I truly enjoyed the experience, and I am very competitive. And if you want to talk, I could talk. So I was the official cheerleader, and I was there to support my employees.
Fantastic.
And that's the kind of stuff that we really want to promote throughout the department as well. There's a time to work, but there's also a time to relax and fellowship together. And I think that initiative sponsored by Sports Parks as well as the Department of Personnel is a great way to do that. And we've had some additional conversations about wellness and how to get our employees more engaged in physical fitness and the different things that would help us to have a healthy lifestyle.
Balance.
So, Miss Monday, are you going to be there on April 20th?
I absolutely will.
Good.
I'll be the cheerleader.
You'll be there with me. I appreciate you. So we're going to talk a little bit about what it is that Roseann Mondy does. And a lot of people sometimes confuse what education is really about. We have the aspect that focuses on the schools and what happens in the schools. But in order for this department to function properly, there are many other divisions that play a part in the overall success of the department. And internal audit is a very important function. So can you tell our audience a little bit about what internal audit really is?
Yes, the burning question. So I will tell you what my tagline is.
Okay.
The tagline for our department is that we are here to promote positive change with a sense of urgency. The textbook definition of internal audit is it's usually a division within a company that's there to provide assurance and consultant services. So let me break that down even further. Assurance is the fancy way of saying, I'm going to give you some confidence that your policies and procedures, what you expect, is really happening. So I'm going to give you assurance whether that's happening.
Okay.
And then the consultative part is if you're trying to put a new process in place, or you're trying to tweak your existing procedures and you want to make sure that you're making sure like you're dotting all your I's and crossing your T's and you're addressing any potential risks, that's where we can also play a role and provide advice to the different divisions within the department as well as our schools. Our scope is very broad. We don't just focus on financial aspects, right? We focus on operations as well. And it also encompasses federal laws as well as local laws.
Right.
So it's very broad.
It's very broad, but it's a critical part of what we do, because I look at your division as that accountability arm that will help us to stay in step with the laws and to make sure that the policies and procedures that we put in place are actually working.
You got it.
Actually working.
Yeah. And I would even go one step further. So the internal audit division is one that the federal U.S. Department of Education mandated that the local department here have in place. And that's because GVI as a whole is deemed a high-risk agency because we haven't done the best job as a whole at managing our federal funds. So the U.S. Department of Education said, listen, we know that you need our support. In order for us to continue giving you the support that we know you need, we want to make sure that you have things in place to give them assurance. And that is one of the reasons why the Internal Audit Division was mandated by the Federal Department of Education. Now, aside from the mandate, even if it wasn't mandated, it still is a best practice. You, as a commissioner, you would want that assurance to say, hey, I can't be everywhere at the same time.
Exactly.
So where is my highest risk? And make sure that you have someone there, a team there, internal audit, to give you that comfort.
Yes, and one of the things that you just touched on a little bit was internal controls. And so since taking the helm here at the Department of Education, my mantra has been accountability. I believe that if you're hired to do a job, get the job done. You know, we all have a part to play in the success of this department. Yes. And so I want to touch a little bit about the structure of the department, just because I often hear, the community would say, well, what is the commissioner doing? And what is the commissioner saying? And, the commissioner has a lot to say. Yeah. However, the commissioner has various leaders in position that are to oversee the various components. So the commissioner sits on top, overall head of the department. Below the commissioner are senior cabinet leaders. Just like I am a member of the governor's cabinet, I also have my senior cabinet. Right. And under me is the assistant commissioner, and together we share the responsibility of overseeing the senior cabinet. Correct. But my senior leaders, which you're part of, are responsible for overseeing their respective divisions. Correct. And so there's an accountability arm in terms of the distribution of oversight, and I have the ultimate say at the end. And so the internal audit division helps us to make sure that every single division under the umbrella of the Department of Education has things in place, those internal controls, to ensure that we're doing our due diligence, whether it is to protect the federal funding, to protect the safety and security of our students, our faculty and staff, oversight over fixed assets, the resources that we have available within the department. So it's not a little task that you have. Correct. And you're a team of how many?
Right now, I have a team of 4. It's 4 of us.
It's 4 of you.
Yes. So there's 2 of us that are based in St. Croix and 2 in St. Thomas. Every day it's a juggle. We can come in with a plan, and it's so important for our team to be agile and respond to the shifts in the department. Yes, we do have a plan. I certainly create a plan every year when I do a full-blown risk assessment of, okay, what is the strategic goals of the department, and where are we susceptible to fraud or a breakdown in our internal controls? That's where we focus our initiatives on throughout the year. But certainly, as the need changes and there's a risk that pops up that wasn't there before, we have to shift and adjust.
Right. And so one of the things that, again, helps to drive what we're doing is the policies and procedures. And it's always good to have policies and procedures. But what really counts is holding people,
the execution of the policies,
accountable for those policies and procedures. Correct. And so that in itself is the direction that the department is going. We do have policies that are outdated, and we've sort of prioritized the ones that are most critical to what we're doing now to make sure that those are updated. Correct. And then eventually get to all of the others that are relevant to the work that we're doing. And so last week we talked a little bit about the compliance line. And I want us to touch a little bit more on the compliance line, because I feel that was the right move that the department made in terms of creating an avenue for complaints to be heard.
Correct.
In a safe space where our students, our faculty and staff, our parents, the community on a whole can call to make those types of complaints. So can you share with the community the compliance line? What is that?
Sure. So the compliance line is an anonymous hotline that VIDE instituted about a year and a half or so ago. And it's just like you said, it provides a safe space for concerns, big or small. It can be from bullying, it can be harassment, it can be alleged fraud, theft, abuse of alcohol. It can be the entire spectrum you can think of. Anything that you have a concern with and you don't know who to go to, or you're not comfortable speaking to someone within your school or within your office, you can certainly call or text or go online and access the hotline. The hotline is staffed with trained individuals, and there's someone there to answer your phone call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. Yes.
And so how do you access the compliance line?
Yes, so folks can access the compliance line by going to www.videcomplianceline.com, or they can call 1-800-403-2461. You can also text that same number. You can text the word report to that same number.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So when the complaints come into the compliance line, because I want you to talk about that a little bit, because I think that there's a fear. There's a fear in our community.
We're small.
Yes,
Everybody
we're
know
very
everybody.
small. Everybody know everybody. I don't want my name in anything. I don't want to be in any investigation. But this is a problem. So you mentioned an outside vendor.
Yes. So again, to promote the openness and transparency that I think individuals need to share their concerns, we thought it was so important that it's not just your cousin down the street who's answering the call, right? So we actually partnered with a third party. It's an outside company. It's not somebody within VIDE who is taking the calls. They take the calls, they document your concerns, and they pass that information on to us. If you don't give your name, it's okay.
Right.
Your concern, your fear, your complaint will be addressed. And I think that's the beauty in this hotline. If anything comes into it in any of the forms, whether you call, text, or go online, it's addressed. We stay on top of it. We bring things to closure.
Right.
So it doesn't just linger.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's critical. There's closure. And oftentimes, I have an open door policy. People call me all day long, whether it's at work or on my cell phone. I speak to parents consistently because I always tell my senior leaders that our clients are our students and our parents are their advocates.
Yes.
Right? That's their lawyers. Okay? And they have a right to voice their concerns. And we have a responsibility to listen and address the concerns.
Act.
And
Yes.
act, right? But the biggest piece that I've heard from a lot of community partners or parents is the lack of follow through. And I've been in the department for 30 years, and I've said to my employees in various capacities, things are not completed until you have a final stamp that it's done. So a simple thing like entering a requisition for payment, until you see that check cut, it's not done.
Right.
And so the compliance line has that follow through arm.
Correct.
That brings that closure, that resolution, that outcome that so many desire.
Correct. And I would also add that we are very transparent with what comes through the compliance line. As someone who reports or raises a concern, even if you don't give your name, every case that's opened is given a case number. So if you want to check us, you can certainly call back with your case number to get an update. So there is a line of communication that goes back and forth as well too. So if you need that assurance that your fear, your concern, your complaint was in fact addressed, you will get that. And again, we stick to very strict timelines with how we manage issues that come through the hotline. They don't linger. We address them, we stay on top of them, and we'll keep the person who brought the issue up updated as well. So even if it's not complete, you will get an update like, yes, we got your complaint, we're working on it. And even if maybe we might need a little bit more information from the person who raised the concern, we can certainly pose questions back and forth. So we can keep the dialogue open as the concerns are being addressed.
Perfect. And so in terms of getting the information out about the compliance line, the marketing of this tool, is there anything that you think that we should do differently, or you think that we have been doing a good job at communicating it? Because I think it's an essential resource that I would love to see more people utilize.
Right. Well, actually, having me on the show is another good avenue to get the word out.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we can do things much better. And I'm actually working with our public relations team to build out a marketing strategy going forward to, again, just push the message in. There's certainly, at this moment, posters within our schools. There's some brochures that are out there, but we certainly need to do more. So look out. There should be some PR campaigns coming out.
If they go to vide.vi, our website, is it posted there?
Yes. We
Okay.
certainly do have that. I think there's like a scrolling banner on the main page that you can find the information there too.
Awesome. So community, parents, students, we have the compliance line, which is an avenue or a way for you to express your concerns in a safe environment. We need to know. If you know something, say something. We've
Speak
heard
up.
that. Speak up. That's the only way for the department to grow and evolve and become more efficient. One of the things that we've also talked about is just looking at the systems. And so we talked about VIDE not only in regards to the school, but we look at VIDE as a business, and we're servicing our clients, which are our students.
That's right.
And so there are many systems that have to work in order for our parents and our students to receive what it is that they need from the
Absolutely.
department. And so I always pull in Roseann Mondy outside of her spec to assist us in various capacities. So right now we're looking at our systems of operations and how best do we serve our clients. So I'm a parent. I have 3 kids that came through, 3 students that came through the public school system. And one of my biggest pet peeves was standing in line to pay my fees and to register and sign up. For hours, we would go from station to station. You have to present your immunization card. You got to pay for the ID. You have to do this. You have to do that. And as a parent, as an educator, as a principal, superintendent, I was very annoyed. And I work for the department. And so we're looking at ways to make your lives easier, parents. We know that we have a lot of parents who work 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet, who have crazy schedules that don't afford you time to do those types of things. And so we're putting systems in place to better serve our population.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
And you know, Miss Mondy is actively engaged in that process because we want to make sure that we are an efficient department and that we're able to serve our clients. And one of the things that I've said to my senior leaders in a lot of almost every forum is that our students have to be satisfied. And if we're not meeting the needs of the students, then we're failing. And so meeting the needs of a student isn't just about academics. It's the overall development of the whole child, socially, emotionally, physically, academically, everything. And at the end of the day, our success can be measured by our
their
students' success.
Yes.
And so parents, community, look for updates coming forward very, very soon of the things that we are about to roll out that will help you to feel more supported in your role as a parent. Ms. Mondy, are you a parent of public school students?
I have 3 boys.
So you understand that whole situation.
Absolutely.
And so those concerns that were brought forth in different forums haven't fallen on deaf ears. We hear you. And it takes time for us to put systems in place, but they're being put in place, again, to support our families and to support our students. And so we're also looking at our website, and One of the things that I often do is visit other public school systems. I don't know if you do that, Miss Monday.
All the time.
When I'm looking for ideas, and sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel. If things are already in place and systems are already working, let's just use them. And so we're looking at the setup of our website and how do we make it more user-friendly. And I remember being a principal, and a large population of my parents were from the Dominican Republic. And just having resources translated into Spanish so that my parents, who didn't speak English as a first language could still have access to the resources. And I believe you've done that with the compliance line documents as well, right?
Yes,
Pamphlets.
you're correct, yes. And actually, that's another point, not to shameless plug here, but any language that you speak, if you call in, they will be able to find someone to be able to communicate with you. So that's not a concern. But yes, the marketing is in English, Spanish, and French Creole.
Right. So, being able to create a platform that it doesn't matter what language you speak. If you have a child in our system, we are going to meet you where you are. And so part of what we will be doing in upcoming shows is talking a little bit more of how to support our families. And I've said it before, and I'll say it today again, that my ultimate goal is to make sure that those meetings, those interdepartment meetings that we have, we're able to pull the resources together to make sure that we are really servicing our families to the best of our abilities. And when we have happy families, what do we have? Happy students.
That's right.
That's all I want. I want my students to be happy and to be comfortable. And so we are definitely moving towards the right direction when it comes to providing that type of support to our families. When I began teaching, Miss Monday, I started teaching in 1993. And back then I was making $20,000 a year with 2 children.
My goodness.
So I know what it means to work 2 jobs. I had no choice. I had to work 2 jobs. I was a single parent, and I had to take care of my girls, right? And so I understand that. And part of being a good leader is not losing touch and sight with where people are.
Correct.
In the process.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things that always comes to my forefront, even though I may sit at the commissioner's seat. I know what was needed when I was a principal, when I was a teacher. And so we have to try to make sure that we're providing those resources to the people who are in the trenches. Right. So as we're getting ready to wrap up, I want to also mention that we began the laptop or tablet distribution for the Affordable Connectivity Program. And it was a joy for me to stop by today. I was able to see some of the students picking up their tablets. Very excited to have their own devices. One of them asked if I have to bring this back when time is up. I said, there's no time. There's no expiration on this. This belongs to the family. And so even being able to execute that whole project within a week span and to be able to service 1,500 families is a huge accomplishment for the Department of Education, working in collaboration with our with Heritage partners. And so we began the distribution in the St. Croix district. Calls were made, and you will know when to come and pick up your devices. If the opportunity extends itself, we're going back to get more people these tablets along with the service. So we're excited about that. Next week after Easter, we are going to do the St. Thomas St. John district. So as usual, 30 minutes goes very fast. So don't be surprised if Miss Monday joins me again on the show. Internal audit, again, is an important feature. And so catch us every Tuesday at 5:30 right here on 93.1 FM and YouTube and Facebook pages for WTJX and VIDE. We love you. Thank you. Have a blessed evening and stay tuned as we use this platform to bring information to you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Miss Monday.
Thank you.
The views and opinions expressed are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect that of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters.
Let's Russ Murley with your WTJX local forecast for Tuesday evening, March 26th. Partly cloudy skies. There may be a shower over